Cardiovascular system is one of the important system of the body that is consisting of heart and blood vessels. So in this image, if you see the image, this is a diagrammatic image. In this, the heart is shown with on both sides lung. So heart and these vessels which are shown here in the red and blue color are the components of the cardiovascular system. So the function of this cardiovascular system is to supply the body with the blood that will provide the nutrients, oxygen, and to carry waste products from the blood, from the body to the blood. So this is the system of this is the function of cardiovascular system. So this is the cardiovascular system consisting of heart and blood vessels. So this is again showing the heart, and the red color is showing oxygenated blood with the blue color showing deoxygenated blood. So this is showing that the oxygenated blood is going from heart to the blood vessels, and then the deoxygenated blood is coming again to the heart, and then this deoxygenated blood is going to the lungs. Okay, so this deoxygenated blood is going to the lungs, from where oxygenated blood is again returning to the heart, and from where it is again expelled to the whole body. So this is the cycle of this system. Again, going to these components of the cardiovascular system, as I have told you that cardiovascular system is consisting of blood vessels and heart. So blood vessels are of three types, or they are divided into three types. We are having arteries, we are having capillaries, and then we are having veins. Arteries, capillaries, and veins, these three are called vessels. So the arteries are here, which is shown. This is again a diagrammatic image which is showing the artery which is having deoxygenated blood, and then the arteries are terminating, and then the capillary bed is formed. These are the capillaries, and after the capillaries they begin to unite, and again they begin unite to form the veins. So we are having veins, we are having capillaries, and we are having arteries. So why I am telling this, because they are in continuity, so they are connected. These vessels are connected. So we are having three types of vessels in the cardiovascular or in the circulatory system. We are having arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries, veins, and capillaries. So the color of, by seeing the color of these vessels, you can assess. Artery is containing oxygenated blood, vein is containing deoxygenated blood, while the capillary bed is having the function of exchange of this blood with the extracellular fluid. So extravascular fluid. So this is the channel. So arteries and veins are further divided into categories according to their size. So coming to this again image, this is showing the artery, then terminating into veins or capillaries, and then capillary again uniting to form the vein. So coming to the arteries, first we should discuss the walls of the arteries. So arteries are having wall, and the wall is consisting of three layers. So there are three layers present in the wall of the artery. So these three layers are named tunica intima, innermost layer, tunica media, the middle layer, and tunica adventitia, the outermost layer. So the artery wall is consisting of three layers. Same rule applies to the veins. So the vessels are having, or the arteries and veins are made up of three layers. Walls of the arteries and veins are made up of three layers, and they are named, both of these, tunica intima, tunica media, and tunica adventitia. So these are the three layers of artery and vein. So again, going to the description of tunica intima, that is the innermost layer that is consisting of simple squamous type of epithelium surrounded by a very thin layer of connective tissue. This is making the tunica intima. So if you see in this bigger image, which is magnified here, these cells are simple squamous epithelial cells, and when these simple squamous epithelial cells line the lumen of the vessel, they are called endothelium. So the tunica intima, the innermost layer, is made up of endothelial cells with a thin layer of connective tissue, loose connective tissue. So this is tunica intima. Coming to the tunica media, that is made up of smooth muscle fibers. This is again histological image which is showing the pinkish layer that is consisting of smooth muscle fibers circumferentially arranged. So if we go back to this image, this is good view. So the tunica media is consisting of smooth muscle fibers, and then comes the tunica adventitia. Okay, tunica adventitia, the outermost layer, tunica externa also called. So this is again consisting of loose connective tissue with the fibroblast in this. So this is the outermost layer, tunica adventitia. So for you have to remember 3 layers of the vessels. Arteries and veins are made up of, their wall are made up of 3 layers: tunica intima, tunica media, and tunica adventitia. So this is again image showing, this is vein, this is artery. Veins are having valves. So this is artery which is showing the endothelium with its connective tissue layer making tunica intima. Then we are having middle layer, that is tunica media, made up of smooth muscle fibers, and then we are having tunica adventitia. This is media description, tunica adventitia. So these were 3 layers. Now we are again having further classification of arteries according to their size. So arteries can be of very small size, arterioles which we call them. Then there are medium sized arteries, and then there are large arteries. So these are the 3 types of arteries. Large size arteries are also called elastic arteries, and the medium sized arteries are called muscular arteries, as they are having more amount of tunica media, more amount of smooth muscle fibers in the tunica media, and the smaller one are called arterioles, which are having a smooth muscle fiber layer with endothelial cells. So they are called arterioles. So we are having large, medium, and small arteries having the name elastic artery, muscular artery, and the arteriole. Coming to the capillaries. Capillaries are the channels which are formed by the which are in continuity with the arteries and veins. So these are the vessels that connect the arteries with the veins. These channels as the capillaries are making channels by interconnecting. So these channels are providing the exchange of material in between the vessel and the extracellular matrix. So they have the diameter from 7 to 9 micron, and they are found in the form of interconnecting network. So this is these are the capillaries. So this is the histological image. Actually the image is here we are having the real image, the histological image, which you can see from the microscope. So if we have to see the capillaries are like this. They are making the networks of interconnecting channels. So these are the capillaries. We can call them capillary beds. So capillaries are again having are of 3 types. We are having continuous capillaries, fenestrated capillaries, and sinusoidal capillaries. 3 types of capillaries we are having. So capillaries are usually made up of simple squamous epithelium called endothelium with a basement membrane. So in the first type, that is the continuous type of capillary, we are having a complete layer of squamous cell with the basement membrane covering with no pores, no discontinuity. This is called continuous capillaries. They are having no pores, they are having no discontinuity. Then comes fenestrated capillaries. In the fenestrated capillaries, there are some pores found in the cells. So the pores are found, these are called fenestra. So these fenestrations are found within the epithelium, and these fenestrations are covered by a thin layer of basement membrane. So this is the fenestrated type of capillaries. Then comes sinusoidal type of capillaries, also called sinusoids. So the sinusoids are actually discontinuous capillaries. Discontinuous capillaries having discontinuity is called sinusoid. So if you see, this is epithelial cell, and here there is a discontinuity between them. And also in the basement membrane we can find some discontinuity. So incomplete basement membrane. So this is the sinusoidal type of capillaries. So continuous, fenestrated and sinusoidal, three types of capillaries we are having, and some of them are continuous, having no pore, no discontinuity. Some of them are having fenestrations, which are called fenestrated capillary, and some of these are discontinuous and they are called sinusoids. Then comes veins. Veins, as we know, they carry the deoxygenated blood. So the so they are having the similar walls like that of arteries. They are having tunica intima, tunica media and tunica adventitia. If we see the vein and the artery, I think we may be having some histological image. So this must be good. So in this image you can see we are having this vessel and this vessel. So can you see this layer, pinkish layer? This is more thicker than this layer. Okay, so this is the difference. Artery is having very small lumen but the thicker wall, while the vein is having larger lumen than compared to the thickness of wall, that is more less than in veins. So veins are having larger lumen. So this is the point which I wanted to tell you, that the veins are having larger lumen as compared to arteries, and they are having less pressure as compared to arteries. So their wall is less thick than arteries. So this is about the vein. Vein is again divided into three types: venules, which are smaller veins, medium sized vein and the larger veins. So this is the larger veins, smaller, medium sized vein and the small veins called venules. So they are having some difference. Okay, then we are coming to the heart, the main structure of the cardiovascular system. So here comes the heart. Heart is the main component of the cardiovascular system. It is actually the pumping station of the body. It pumps the blood into the entire body, into the entire circulatory system. So this is heart, and it's a muscular organ. So this muscular organ is having the function of pumping, contraction. So this is heart, and the size of heart is about a fist. So if you make the fist, so size of the heart can be estimated to the varying in size. And then this heart is present in the thorax above the diaphragm, in between the two lungs, right behind the sternum and anterior to the vertebral column. So this is heart. This heart is having an apex that is pointed towards the left side. So this is heart. So features in the heart, we are having covering of the heart, that is called pericardium. Heart wall itself is consisting of 3 layers. It is having 4 chambers, 2 upper, 2 lower. This heart is having supply from the coronary arteries, and then it is connected to the pulmonary and the systemic circulation, and this is also having a specialized conducting system which is giving impulses for its contractions. So this is heart. Starting with its covering, heart, This is the sagittal section of the body, diagrammatic image, that is showing the heart. So the heart, or we can say the lateral view. So this is heart present in the middle, just behind the thorax, anterior to the vertebral column, or just behind the sternum, just behind the sternum, anterior to the vertebral column. So this is heart. This heart is having covering. They are made up of two layers, fibroserous covering. So the green line is showing the fibrous pericardium. The covering of the heart are called pericardium. So the fibrous and that pericardium is consisting of first two layers. Fibrous pericardium, that is shown in the green color, and the or in the orange color there is a serous pericardium. So this is the fibrous pericardium covering the heart, that is shown in the green color. Then in the orange color you can see double layer, two layers of orange with the black color. So this is the serous pericardium consisting of two layers. Parietal layer, the outer one, and the inner one that is adjacent to the heart is the visceral layer. We can say this is the visceral layer and this is the parietal layer. So the serous pericardium is consisting of two layers, parietal layer and the visceral layer. In between the two layers there is a fluid-filled cavity, thin fluid-filled cavity, that is called pericardial cavity. So this is the two layers of the serous pericardium, and the green is the fibrous pericardium. So these are the covering of the heart. Then comes the wall of the heart. Wall of the heart is made up of three layers. If we take a section of the wall of heart, we can see like this. So wall of the heart is consisting of three layers. If we go from inner side to outer side, inner side there is endocardium, then in the middle we are having myocardium, and then we are having the epicardium. So the innermost layer, that is the endocardium, is made up of squamous type of epithelium, simple squamous type of epithelium. So this is the endothelial layer. Likewise vessels. So in vessels we studied tunica intima, media and adventitia. So this inner layer, endocardium, is resembling the tunica intima, having the same epithelium. Then comes the middle layer, that is the myocardium, and this is consisting of cardiac muscle fibers. So the myocardium is thicker, consisting of cardiac muscle fibers, and then we are having the epicardium, the outermost layer, and that is the visceral pericardial layer. Visceral pericardium, we are having fibrous pericardium, we are having serous pericardium. Serous pericardium itself is consisting of parietal pericardium and the visceral. So visceral pericardium is making the epicardium. So this is the outermost layer. So innermost endocardium, myocardium middle, and the epicardium outermost. So these are the three layers of heart wall. Then comes chambers. As we have discussed, there are four chambers in the heart. Two upper chambers and two lower chambers, or we can say two chambers on the right and two chambers on the left. So these are the four chambers. Upper chambers are called atria, and singular is atrium. So this is right atrium, and here is a portion of the left atrium. This is right ventricle, and here is the portion of left ventricles. So the upper are called atrium and the lower are called ventricle. Upper atrium are having the function of receiving the blood. So this is right atrium, which is receiving the deoxygenated blood via superior and inferior vena cava from the systemic circulation. So the right atrium is receiving blood that is deoxygenated. Coming to the right atrium is receiving oxygenated blood from the lungs. So this is again receiving, while right ventricle is giving or discharging the blood, that is discharging the blood towards the lungs, and this deoxygenated blood is going to the lungs via the pulmonary trunk. So the pulmonary trunk is taking deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Then left atrium is receiving the oxygenated blood from lungs via the pulmonary pulmonary veins, while the left ventricle is propelling the oxygenated blood from the left ventricle into the systemic circulation with the help of aorta. So these are the chambers. Again the same thing. So blood that is the deoxygenated coming from superior and inferior vena cava into the right atrium is going into the right ventricle. So the atrium is receiving the blood and then it is going into the ventricle via pumping action of the heart. From the right ventricle, this deoxygenated blood is going into the lungs with the help of pulmonary trunk. So into the lungs this deoxygenated blood is going. Then if we go here, from the lungs oxygenated blood is going into the left atrium with the help of these pulmonary veins. So they are shown here in the red color, that is showing the oxygenated blood going into the left atrium with the help of these pulmonary veins. Then blood into the left atrium that is oxygenated is going into the left ventricle, and from left ventricle with pumping of the heart this blood is going into the aorta, and from aorta it is going into the systemic circulation. So this is the whole cycle of the blood flow into the heart. So in between the atria and ventricles there are valves. So the valves are present in between the atria and ventricle to prevent the backflow of the blood. When the atria contract, it go into the ventricles, and when the ventricles contract, it doesn't go back into the atria because of the presence of these valves which prevent backflow. From ventricles they either go into the pulmonary trunk or into the aorta. So they prevent the backflow of the blood into the atria. So bicuspid valve is present on the left side and the tricuspid valve is present on the right side. Then comes semilunar valves with the ventricles which are giving blood to the systemic circulation and to the lungs. There are further present some valves. So we are having pulmonary valve and there is a aortic valve. So the pulmonary valve is present in between the right ventricle and the pulmonary trunk, and the aortic valve is present in between the left ventricle and the aorta. So these are the valves that are preventing the backflow of the blood. Then comes major vessels of the heart, or major vessels arising from the heart or coming into the heart. So there are superior vena cava and inferior vena cava bringing the deoxygenated blood from the upper and the lower portion of the body, and then they are coming into the atrium. Then there is pulmonary trunk that is arising from the right ventricle, and that is carrying the deoxygenated blood into the lungs. So this is pulmonary trunk divided into pulmonary arteries. Then the left atrium. Then the pulmonary veins, which can be seen from here. So here. Then there are pulmonary veins which are bringing the oxygenated blood from lungs into the left atrium. And then there is aorta that is arising, that is carrying the oxygenated blood from left ventricle into the systemic circulation. So this is aorta. So aorta leaves left ventricle, pulmonary arteries leave right ventricle, vena cava enters the right atrium, and pulmonary veins enter the left atrium. So these are the major vessels of the heart. So this was all about the cardiovascular system. So thank you so much, and before going, It is recommended that kindly go through the books. Please and please go through books. And for you, circulatory system is good elaborated in the KLM and clinically oriented KLM anatomy book, first chapter, and also it is written in the BD journal anatomy book. So you should go through with these chapters. Okay, thank you so much. And